Hello, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's recap is for Friday, July the 15th, Cliffhanger Friday. I don't know about Cliffhanger Friday, but it kind of had a little emotional twinge there. It hit an emotional chord with me and Carly, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But what happened to Leslie? Thank goodness nothing dire, Laura's mother. Her and I guess her husband's, their house was burned down. So Valentine had their house burnt down. So that's requiring Laura to get on a plane to go and deal with her parents. But Laura keeps having this feeling that she shouldn't go. I hope they don't kidnap her, because that has been done before. Okay, remember what happened with Lisa Obrecht? You know, and that just may take Jeannie Francis out for the summer, because we know she loves her summer vacation time. So it's time for Jeannie Francis to go on vacation, and this might be the way they're going to do it, you know, unless they do let her get there and it just takes her more time to get her mother settled. You know, we'll see how they play that. But she's gonna go, and Nicholas, of course, gives her the little Cassadine jet. Wait a minute. Nicholas is arranging transportation. Not that he's in on it, but if it's a Cassadine jet, uh-oh, Victor. So we shall see. We shall see. I just thought about that, how that's going to work with Laura. Then they had some scenes, you know, some time with Curtis and his father waiting for results from Ava. They clue Ava in, and as soon as they said this will help Trina, oh no, she was all in. Anything to help her Trina, please, you know. So she goes there and she hears Esme talking, because they're in the living room part and she's in the foyer in the outside. And of course her phone rings and it's Avery. And she's having a conversation with Avery, which gives Esme time to get rid of the guy. Now, that was interesting to me because he'd never been to Windermere. How would he know where to go? People get lost in Windermere, and I know she didn't stick him in the tunnel, because if she stuck him in the tunnel, he would never come out. You have to know your way around Windermere's tunnel in order to get out. So I don't know, you know, what she did with him or how he got off. But anyway, by the time Ava does actually get in there, and she's questioning Esme, and Esme's painting her toenails on the couch. And she's like, has anybody ever taught you don't paint toenails on fabric? And Esme's like, no. Now, you know, that used to be Laura's main contention when Esme lived with her. Do not use fingernail polish on the, you know, on the furniture. You don't do. So anyway, she's just as smug. And Ava says, you know, you have no respect for people's property. And she smugly looks up at Ava. That's where you're wrong. I do have respect for your property. As a matter of fact, I'll use it and you won't even know. And something to that, you know, statement, how she smugly looking at Ava. And Ava's like, and what is that supposed to mean? You know, so then she kind of backs off, you know, just no, I respect your property, you know, that all of those things. When Esme finally does the bombshell and she's pregnant with Nicholas's child, all of these little things is going to come up in Ava's head, these little innuendos that Esme's saying. And anyway, I just hate the fact that when they write characters like this, they rarely get what's truly coming to them. I mean, really, this is just the reincarnation of Nell. And look at how long it took Nell to really get any kind of turnaround as fair play or karma coming back to her. It's going to take a lot for it to Esme, for it to get to her. I hate it when they write that. People are just above, for one, the law, the police. They're smarter than absolutely everybody else on the planet, but that's exactly how they're writing that. So Ava's telling her, look, how much money is it going to take you to confess that you were the one that did it? And then I'll make sure you don't do any jail time, which I'm thinking, how could you possibly do that, Ava? But okay, and Esme's like, I found a family here. There's nothing you could do, nothing you could offer me to get me to leave. And of course, Spencer and Nicholas were coming in like, what's going on here? And so she goes, Ava's just trying to get me to confess to something I did not do. And so Spencer comes in to talk to Esme, and Ava and Nicholas go out, and he's just saying, look, it's just best. Don't even be alone with her. Now that's rich coming from him, right? That's rich coming from Nicholas's mouth. Don't be alone with Esme. So needless to say, Ava phones Curtis and says, hey, I didn't catch him. By the time I got in there, no one was with her. And they're like, well, he did not take the launch back out of there. And she's like, there's other ways to get off of this island, and Esme must know about them. And it got me thinking, what other ways? Because I can remember in the past, you had to take a boat. If you're not taking the launch, you had to take a boat still out to Spoon Island. So perhaps they have other boats around just docked, because I remember one time Jason took a speedboat over to Spoon Island. I mean, so there's not too many ways that at the drop of a hat, Esme just pushing somebody out the door, she didn't have enough time to tell him, go around the tree that's at the edge of the property, the one that has the blossoms on it, take a right turn, go down, and there's a boat docked there. I mean, that she didn't have enough time for that, nor would the guy ever be able to find it. So that's just one of those situations where they don't want us to think about what other ways off of Spoon Island. As a matter of fact, remember on Halloween night when Nicholas was planning that turnabout on Spencer, and they just kept the launches from coming back to Spoon Island? What other ways was there to get off of Spoon Island? See, even Spencer didn't know what other ways. Anyway, so then we have, this was kind of cute. They had scenes of Drew helping Carly pack, her box, and it was little reminiscent. She was going through some older pictures that were taken throughout the years. I kind of wish they would have shown some of them, happening there at the Metro Court, and she got a little teary-eyed. And so Drew was helping her with the boxes, and Olivia came in with a big bouquet of flowers that the staff had gotten for her. And she really wanted to do a big send-off, and Carter's like, no, don't you do it, so they kind of shared a few tears with the flowers and hugged each other. But before Olivia did that, before she came down, and Nina, one of the staff members was talking to Olivia, and Olivia says, Nina, a word. And then she's like, why are you questioning the staff, pumping them for information? And she's like, I'm not pumping them for information. I just kind of want to know the ropes, because, she's not selling. And Olivia's like, look, Ned and I want to buy Carly's half of the hotel. We will give you 3% over what you paid. And Nina's like, I'm not selling my half of the hotel. Now Sonny's walking in at this time, and Olivia's like, okay, we'll give you 5% over and not a penny more. That's my Yorkies. And not a penny more. And so Nina says, I'm not selling, I'm keeping it. And Sonny's like, when she goes, I am not selling. And Sonny's like, why not, Nina? Why not? And so Olivia lets her know, look, I'm getting my lawyers involved because I do not want to be partners with you. And Olivia flies off the handle and says, I'll be in my office. And so she walks away, and Nina's like, why would she be so mean to me? And Sonny's like, well, you brought it on yourself. And she looked at him like, what'd you say to me? Because Mike never would have said that to me. Okay. And I expect you to be Mike most of the time. So she's like, what do you mean? You mean I deserve for Olivia to talk to me that way? He goes, you had to know that was going to happen. You're going to get a lot of resistance. And he goes, and for what? I mean, really? Why are you really doing this? This is for what? One day this will be Wiley's. Yeah. Okay. Now, mind you, she owns a world-class magazine. That can't be Wiley's, right? Oh, but that's right. She doesn't own Crimson because she didn't want to buy Crimson. Something that is in her field, something that she's been doing for years, a business that is very thriving and respected, but she didn't want to buy that. She wanted to buy Carly's half of the hotel. And so Sonny's like, let's be honest. Part of that's for revenge. And she's like, it is not for revenge. And, like, how dare you? You are taking Carly's side over mine. And he goes, I'm not taking anybody's side. And so she's like, yes, you are. And she goes, one thing that Carly used to say? Carly used to say that there were 3 people in the relationship, right? And he goes, yeah. And she goes, yeah, I think she was right. You care more about Carly's feelings than you do mine. And I'm like, oh, wow, here we go, Nina. Oh, now you're going to start griping on Sonny about him thinking or caring about Carly. That's going to come back to bite her in the butt, right? Because when Carly was nagging on Sonny about protecting Nina and thinking about Nina, what did Nina tell her? Carly, you have Sonny, but you keep pushing him away. You keep pushing him away. And I tell you what, the next time Sonny comes to me because you've pushed him away, I won't turn him away. Now she's doing the exact same thing. Good. Turnabout is fair play where Nina is concerned. But what I really liked was the scenes, the final scenes of Carly in her office. She was trying to put on a good face, fighting back the tears, but there were some happy moments that, Drew kind of brought out in her. Like, he's like, remember when you hired me that Christmas, my first Christmas here, to be a bartender? And she's like, oh my God. And this is where she smiled. I'd forgotten about that. And there were some great memories there for her. And part of me is like, is this going to be a turning chapter for her? Because normally when they close a chapter, they open up something else. But I really liked Carly at the Metro Court. I liked her because basically everybody comes there. So she's always in the action there. I'd hate to really see that this be the complete end of Carly at the Metro Court. So Drew is carrying the big bouquet of flowers and the box that Carly had. And they're downstairs in the lobby. And there's Sonny and Nina over at the corner. And Nina's looking, and Sonny looks at her. Carly, are you okay? And Nina's body language is like, see, there he goes. There he goes. And she's like, I'm fine. I have my family. And she turns and she walks away. And as she's walking out the Metro Court doors, what flashes through her mind is when Harmony told her that Willow was Nina's daughter, or Nina was Willow's mother. And she just kind of looked across the the lobby and Nina, like, yeah, you know what? I got you. You know, but unfortunately that I got you is going to end up coming back to bite Carly, because when she does finally have to tell, people aren't going to understand why she did not tell, you know, when she knew about it at first. But, you know, in her mind, she's like, you know what, you won this, you got this, you won this round, you know, and enjoy it while you can, because I got something for you. But that's kind of how General Hospital ended. It was more emotional for me having her pack her things up, and the way they had her turn her lights off in the office, and she looked at her name tag on the door, and she slid the name Carly Corinthos off the door, and she took it with her. And I was like, yeah, Carly, man, that was your baby. So anyway, let's go to comments. Annette had quite a few comments. She likes Marshall in GH. She was answering my trivia question. She felt Cam was the oldest, Spencer and Joss in that order, but she didn't quite know the year they were born. She didn't put that. And I answered to her. I said, yeah, but she missed Emma Drake. And the answer to the trivia, Cameron Weber was born on General Hospital, May 11, 2004. Spencer Cassadine was born on General Hospital in February 2006. Emma Drake, little Emma, the one that, I'm about to give away the other trivia question. Emma Drake was born on General Hospital on November the 4th, 2008. Okay, and Jocelyn Jacks, believe it or not, is the youngest. She was born on November the 3rd, 2009, almost a year after Emma Drake was born, Jocelyn Jacks was born. So that was the answer to the trivia. Now, she was answering, Annette also answered one of the trivia questions that I said, who grew up from a child anywhere pretty much from age 5 or 8 all the way up to adulthood on General Hospital? She said, Robin. You are right about Robin, but I will say the rest in just a minute. And Annette also likes Diane to help Trina win. She goes, Diane for the win. And I guess the actor Scott, I think he's a Shriner, he slipped and fell. So somehow he slipped and fell and probably hurt something, which is why they had to write that Diane is coming in to help save the day. And then we have Crystal. She says the actor that plays Cam is a full-time student, so he has to work around his school schedule. They kind of write things for him around that. But I guess what was this finals time? Because this is kind of crucial for Cameron to be on set. So let's hope that, like I said, that it is the fact that he's a student versus something that he's ill. And Monique said, most women, which is true, and I talked about this, we're talking about Rory being best for Trina versus Spencer. Most women tend to go with the bad guy pretty much. The ones that disrespect her, doesn't treat them quite right, you know, so she feels that Trina will be gravitating back to Spencer. And then Nakisha, she said, Robin is the only character she could think of. Well, you're right about Robin. She goes, and we still have Emma. You're right about Emma. Now we have two, Robin and Emma. Okay. And then I answered with everyone. Robin Scorpio grew up on General Hospital as a little girl, same Robin. Molly Lansing Davis. People forget about Molly. That is the same Molly from like age 8. Remember, her and Morgan were joined at the hip. Those two cousins were doing everything together. As a matter of fact, those two cousins were the star of the nurses' ball. One nurses' ball where they had all the kids performing. And I think, no, it was before the nurses' ball where Spencer got burned. Might be that nurses' ball, because Spencer showed up later to do something to impress Emma. I can't quite, but I do know they performed at a nurses' ball together, Molly and Morgan. So Molly they've never recast her from little girl, you know, from about 8 years old, I would say, on. And then we've got Robin, still Robin. And every time they show Emma Drank coming to visit her grandma, Anna Devane, it's still the same Emma Drake. So that is some history. That is some great history. Let me see, what else do we have? Sandy, she likes Marshall and Curtis together. She loves scenes with them. She's glad that Diane is on the case. So we're getting a good consensus that everybody likes Diane. And then Sandy feels it's time for Portia to come clean with Curtis about Trina's being his daughter. I don't understand how Portia feels that she's going to be able to keep that secret, or why she should have kept that secret. Because bottom line, once she moved back to Port Charles, because obviously they weren't in Port Charles, right? Even though she worked at Mercy. Remember at first, no, she didn't work at Mercy. Oscar's mother worked at Mercy Hospital first. I don't know. Portia got here somehow and became a doctor at, I think it's from another hospital out of town. But once she saw Curtis was married to Jordan's chief of police, and they were going to run into each other, she should have told him then. She and Taggart have been divorced for years. There is no reason Portia did not tell the truth. Now, when the truth finally does come out, it's just not going to be well for her. And I think that's going to end the relationship between her and Curtis. Because for some reason, Curtis still hasn't figured out, why is my divorce not final? Why did we never get any paperwork in the mail? Nobody's checking on that divorce. So by the time Trina's paternity comes out, you know, he's still going to be married to Jordan, which is not going to fare too well for Portia, because he'll end up gravitating back to Jordan. That's the way they write things. People go back to their exes like they're the only people in town. So anyway, that is General Hospital. My daily recap for Friday, July the 15th, 2022. I will be back on Monday with another recap. Please give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel and ring that bell so you can get notified, and copy the link to the channel in the description box and send it to your fellow GH friends. So until Monday, I will see you then.